Hi, welcome to the Belfry. This is the Brabazon Golf Course. My name is Chris Ryan, and this is one of my most favourite weeks of the year because this week it's the US Masters at Augusta National. I remember watching this on the BBC as a youngster, watching Nick Faldo in 1996 beat Greg Norman. That's almost my first memory of watching a golf tournament on TV. So love this week, love seeing the golf course, love seeing the golfers out there battle against it and see who comes out on top. So what I thought I'd do this week is do some videos which are going to be addressing some of the shots that the golfers are going to need this week if they are to come out on top and pick up that green jacket. Now, the Augusta National Golf Course is nearly up to 7,500 yards. That's depending on obviously where they position the tees. So it's often publicised that the longer hitters have an advantage here. They tend to hit the ball a little bit higher. That helps them when they're coming into the greens, and it certainly helps them take advantage of the par fives. And if we look at the champions over the years, very often they've made their score on the par fives. So we are on the par 5 17th here on the Brabazon Golf Course. If I'm going to make a birdie on this hole, really important I get my tee shot away nicely in the fairway, but a good distance down the fairway. So we're going to go through a couple of things that you can do in your golf swing which are going to help you achieve some more distance. And if you do get the call up to play in Augusta next year, you're going to have that shot in your bag. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at just how the golf club comes into the golf ball. If we can get the attack angle to be positive, so if the golf club is travelling upwards, that really helps us maximise our distance. In order to do that, there's a couple of things we need to make sure are present in our setup. We need to make sure that the golf ball is teed up by a good amount. All too often I'll see golfers teeing the ball quite low, and that really makes it difficult to achieve that positive attack angle. So let's get that ball teed up nice and high. What I then want you to do is really think about where your sternum is relative to the golf ball. So that's going to be your buttons, the zip, or maybe just under your chin. I want you to think about where that is relative to the golf ball. So when I take my address, I want the ball to be nicely forward in my stance, but I want to make sure that my sternum is a good distance behind the golf ball. Just because I have the ball up in my stance, that doesn't mean to say I'm going to have that attack angle positive, because all too often I'll see golfers position the ball forward in the stance, but they'll often lean forward this way and get themselves a little bit more in line with the golf ball. So they kind of almost undo all that work that they've done at setup. So let's make sure we've got the ball teed nice and high. Yes, let's make sure we've got it forward in our stance, but let's ensure that we have a little bit of what we call side bend away from the target, and that's going to put the middle of you a little bit more behind the golf ball, and we're creating now a great starting position from where we can start to hit more up on the golf ball. That's our first thing that's going to help you get more distance. The second thing is all about just creating a big turn in the backswing, making a big wind up of the body. The greater movement we have in the body, the greater chance we have of creating some club head speed. So what I really want you to think about is in your backswing just how much you rotate your lower body. Now, if you look at some of the longer hitters that are currently on the PGA Tour, your Dustin Johnsons, your Bubba Watsons, those kind of players, they have a huge amount of lower body rotation. What that does, it allows them to have a much bigger upper body rotation, and that in turn helps them create some speed. Very often I'll see golfers trying to almost be a little bit too solid in the legs, trying to be a little bit too grounded, if you like, and trying to stabilize the body a little bit too much. And all that's really going to result in is a lack of rotation, both in the hips and in the shoulders, and that can often lead to a short golf swing or a golf swing where the golfer collapses both arms and gets very, very narrow at the top, neither of which are particularly conducive to distance or speed. So let's focus on allowing the hips to turn by a good amount. As that happens, you'll probably start to feel that the trail leg will lose some flex. The lead leg will increase in some flex. That's going to allow me to make a big turn, and that in turn is going to allow me to get some good width at the top, which is the distance between my hands and my chest. A good turn with some good width is a great way to generate some more speed. So we've got you into a fantastic setup. We've got you into a backswing where we've got a little bit more turn. We can now start to think about applying some speed and getting some distance on that tee shot. I want you to think about something that I call get heavier to get lighter, and it's all to do with what we do with the ground and how we feel we use our body weight. What I really want you to feel is as you start your downswing, you're going to feel that you're heavier, you're putting more pressure into the ground. From there though, you're going to feel that as you strike the ball, you're getting lighter, as in you're pushing away from the ground. The more I push away from the ground, effectively I would weigh a lot less. So it's heavier to get lighter. As you make your start to your downswing, you're going to get heavier, and then you're going to get lighter as you spring up into that golf ball, get some good extension of the body, plenty of club head speed, and more distance. And if you can do those three things, hopefully you're going to add some yards to those drives. When you are on the par fives, you're going to have a greater chance of getting there in two. And if you can get there in two, you're definitely going to have a better chance, I should say, of making a birdie. Right, let me have a go. So I'm going to visualize that I'm at Augusta. Not that that's ever going to happen, but I can pretend. And I'm going to go ball forward, sternum back, big wind up, heavier to get lighter. Okay, and I would have that drive every day of the week. That's given me a chance to go for the green in two, and that's definitely going to give me a greater chance of making a birdie. So, fantastic week. It's the US Masters. Let me know below who you think is going to come out on top. I'm actually filming this today on the Monday, so I really need to have a little think about who I'm going to put my money on. I think it's going to be difficult to look past Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy. Those guys are playing fantastic golf at the moment. But let me know who you think is going to win. And also make sure you check back on Wednesday and Friday for 2 more videos looking at the shots that the golfers are going to need this week at the US Masters. Thank you for watching. All the usual stuff is down below. Like button, should say, comments box, and a link to subscribe if you are not already a subscriber. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.